Hello.
Hey, Dr. Danielle, it's Juanita again from ADP. Thank you for speaking with me so I can learn more about your business.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm ready to get started when you are.
Great. First, who all's involved in your purchasing decisions?
I'm usually the person that makes the final call, but since my husband is the one that takes care of the payroll processes, I do take input from him.
Okay. So how much do you know about ADP or any other payroll products?
At this point, I don't know much about it, and we've just now had time to reevaluate our current processes.
I understand that. I'm going to ask you a little bit more about your current processes if you don't mind.
Sounds good to me.
So what is your current payroll process like? How is everything processed?
Well, we currently manually process everything, and we use an off-the-shelf product. And like I said, my husband does take care of all that, but since he's always on the run, he does have a hard time fitting that in his schedule.
Wow, that process does seem like it can be very time consuming. Do you feel like the current process affects the time available for other tasks?
Oh, definitely. And there have been times where my husband was so busy that I actually had to step in and take care of the payroll for that week. And when that happens, it can be a little frustrating because my schedule is just as hectic as his.
How much could you both accomplish if you were able to do your payroll anytime, anywhere?
Oh, we could accomplish a great deal more, and it would alleviate any issues that would come up when one of the kids need to be taken to one of their activities.
How would you like it if I can show you a product where you can process your payroll anywhere and cut the time spent on payroll substantially?
I think I would say you've caught my attention, but I must say I do worry about the security of my employees' personal information.
So to be clear, what exact worries you about the services I would show you in terms of security?
Well, you hear so many horror stories about hackers and the ability they have to steal information and commit fraudulent transactions with someone else's name, and the thought of that happening to our firm is pretty scary.
You're right. There are so many stories out there, and I can totally see why you would be concerned about that. However, the ADP Run mobile app is equipped with some hefty security features such as data encryption that's used every time the payroll is processed. In addition, employee data can be directly saved onto it cannot be directly saved onto the phone, and after the app has been open for an extended period of time, the user will be prompted to log in with the username and password again. ADP has strived to ensure that these features are secure by investing in the latest technologies and consulting with industry experts.
I see.
So does that make you feel a little better about the security of our services?
Actually, it does, and I do appreciate you explaining it to me that way.
Super. So moving forward, how do you stay up to date on changing payroll taxes and laws?
Well, that tends to be a little difficult. We receive notifications about those changes. However, those notifications aren't the only things that we're checking our inbox for. So with all of our other tasks, it can be easy for those to get lost and can create a problem.
Those constant changes can make it difficult to stay up to date. Do you and your husband ever find yourself stressed that you may not be compliant?
Absolutely. That fear of uncertainty brings us a whole extra level of stress.
So what happens if you find that you mistakenly did not apply those changes to your payroll?
Well, we have to go back and figure out when those changes were effective and, correct what we can, document everything. It can be a huge headache.
Would you like to learn more about a service that keeps up to date with those changes and applies them automatically for you?
Oh, I'd love to know more.
I thought you might. Now back to your current process. How do you calculate the employee pay amounts?
The quick answer to that is that we follow a very tedious process, and everything is calculated manually for every employee every week.
I see. Does that manual process lead you to experience any errors with your payroll?
Definitely. This happens more than we would like it to, and we then have to take the time to backtrack our steps and ensure that we correct them quickly.
Does the time spent correcting those errors affect your productivity and create frustrated employees?
You bet it does. Since it's so important to us, we drop all of the other tasks that we're working on, and most of the time our employees are understanding, but I'm sure that they may lose their patience eventually.
I can imagine how frustrating that might be. If I can show you a product that'll automatically calculate payroll error-free, would you be interested?
Oh, I'm getting more and more interested by the minute, but I fear my husband may not like some of the processes.
So what do you think your husband wouldn't like?
Well, part of the reason I think that is he's so resistant to change, and he's always afraid that after we commit, the support system won't be great. We've had situations where we bought into a new service, and after we made the transition, it was extremely difficult to get help.
Well, that's definitely a valid fear. I know personally that I've experienced the same thing with other companies that I've bought into. However, ADP has a dedicated team that's available whenever you need them. They can assist you with technology issues, questions about tax changes, reporting errors, basic how-tos, you name it. If you have a question, we'll have the answer. If we don't know the answer right away, we'll make a point to find out that answer and get that back to you. Does that make you feel better about your husband's reaction to change?
You know, after hearing that and thinking about all the other capabilities that you've described, I would certainly love to learn more, and I think my husband would too.
I'm glad to hear that, and I'm excited to show you even more about how ADP can help your business. Next time we speak, I'd like to give you a presentation of ADP Run and its features.
Well, I can't wait. And in the meantime, I'll update my husband on our discussion today. And can we talk this time next week?
That works with my schedule perfectly. Talk to you then.
Wonderful. Thank you and goodbye.
Bye.